Hey, what's keeping you up so late? Got something on your mind? Let's talk about it. My name is Koffee Dark N Sweet, and you are now tuned in to the Mifnight Koffee podcast. Here, have a sip. What up, though? Welcome to Mifnight Koffee podcast. I am your host, Miss Koffee Dark N Sweet. My voice is doing a whole lot right now, so I'm gonna try to make sure it does this as little as possible. I am here with my wonderful friend, sister, Brittini Ward, and we are going to discuss grassroots. So I chose the title grassroots because I really like grinding with my mom, and I learned like when you pull the grass up, like the roots actually like interlock with each other. So we hear the term grassroots. I've been hearing the term grassroots for a long time, but just that visual representation of like, all those roots and kind of how they connect to each other, and it's hard to pull grass up out the ground for that reason, because they literally holding each other not only down but together. So I invited Brittini to the studio because she is really good for holding people in her community down and together. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Ashe, thank you so much. Yes, lovely intro. Hi, peace, everybody. My name is Brittini Ward. You may know me as BWARD Poetry or BWARD. Either way, yes, I'm a community organizer. I'm an artist. I'm a creator, dancer, drummer, all of the things, auntie, sister friend, healer, all of the things that I love and still growing to be.
Yes, thank you and welcome. Let me see. Brittini and our relationship is very special because she actually introduced me, well, not her, like by herself, but pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah, her by herself introduced me into the world of community activism and organizing events and this kind of thing. We partnered together for Black Student Union in college, and I was on fire, First of all, though, when I met, I didn't even meet you yet. I had just seen you, and you was at the Black Student Union table during what was it? That festival they had when you
new student.
The new student,
song.
yeah. And I was just like, I had to know her from a can of paint, and I was like, yeah, I want to be her friend. Y'all energy was just like, I'm here, I know what I'm doing.
Truly,
like it was like, no, the biggest light, no, for real. So to meet you and then have all of these opportunities, like you just keep showing up in my life.
Hello, Amber.
Forever. Let's have all of these opportunities to get to know you and work with you and learn from you. I'm super excited. Black Student Union is one of the ways that I started any kind of practice in community activism and event organization and these kind of things. I did my very first public organized event, the Jesus Piece, with Black Student Union. And BWARD was wet her feet in the graphic design situation. She made my flyer she really over time and getting to know her and watch her and learn from her. It's impossible to be around her and not learn from her. But I've grown to understand community activism on a very spiritual and like deep level, to where it means a lot to me. So can you tell us what you do and what started you on that path so early as well?
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Student Union, but I could even take it further back to why I even cared like that and why it just clicked so easily. As a child, I always knew something was up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this don't seem right. Like, something else gotta be. I used to be one of those people that was like fascinated with the rabbit holes of the Illuminati and all of that jazz. Like, this the Illuminati. Like,
me too.
like, see, this is But it's just, even whether or not Illuminati is true or not, okay, we're not about to get into that.
Why not?
But, I mean, no, because the government, no. But, like, even if they're true or not, I know the underlying cause of someone being so invested in that research is because they know it's something else out there.
Something going
and
on.
This order that we're in don't make sense. So let's either do something about it, or let's learn more about the inner workings of it. And so I think that was me as a child, like middle school. That was high school. Yes, high school. I'm like printing out papers and showing my brother, like, he don't care. We was both on that, like, train, like, yes. Oh, but did you also see, like, So, yeah, it started there with my way of being, I guess, and then getting into college, University of Michigan, Flint. Honestly, Jamila was like, oh, we're having a meeting. You should come to this meeting. I was pretty much an outcast, like, in the beginning, freshman years of college.
I can't imagine.
Like, going to, like, after class, getting some chicken with honey on it, going back straight to my dorm room, eating it, sticky fingers, licking it. I was just by myself in the dark. I used to tell my roommate, bless her heart. But yeah, and so Jamila was like, we're going to this, you should come. And I knew Jamila from InterVarsity, which was a Christian organization on campus at the time. So it wasn't like I kind of knew her, anyway. But yes, and so I went, and then that's when I got to know Shaq a little bit more, the president at the time. And I started off at just creating the flyers. I was like, oh, I could create the flyer. That was always me for, like, anything. I could create the flyer. That requires me no interaction with people. They'll love it. I give it to them, and then I go back to my little bat cave. Very simple. But then Regina Laurie, what's it called? The person that's over you. The
Director.
Not director, but mentor, kind of. Not mentor, but you got to have something in order to have a organization on campus, and it has to be like an adult teacher or...
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know the word, though, either.
Right. Dang. It's going to come to me soon. But yes.
You're just going to blurt it out.
She was like, she was like, we was at this meeting. And I still have that picture because I look at it all the time because I remember when they asked me. Natasha was there and Regina was there, and it was like, yeah, you should be the president. And I was like, You know what I'm saying? I really was so confused. Like, what? But I don't remember exactly my mindset around that time, but I did know that I was outspoken internally. And I'm just like, everybody, let's question everything. And so I agreed to do it. And then from there, it just kind of shot off. You know what I'm saying? I was just deeply invested in this cause. I also had a great mentor, our advisor.
That's the word.
Yes. They were our advisors, Delma Thomas Jackson and Regina Laurie was our advisors, and Dawn Demps at the time. And so they were really great influences, just seeing them around campus. And
I remember Delma for sure.
Yeah, like, who is this man with these locks that just be talking and smart? Like... You know what I'm saying?
Intelligent stuff.
Like, I want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and whenever I would falter short, like, they would put me back in alignment, with everything. Like, I was calling myself things that I had no idea at the time. I'm not going to hold nobody up. You know what I'm saying? I was leading the fight. I put wheels on the fight, but I didn't really fully understand the fight. But we had a retreat. And this was around the time Trayvon Martin case came out. During the summer, we had a BSU retreat. So this was before probably you saw me at the table. And they literally got us all together. Like, they just got us all together. They told us the inner workings, like the will, the privilege will. Like, they broke down a lot of different philosophies and theories, as much as you can do for over the weekend, retreat for incoming students or students that want to be a part of Black Student Union. They took this seriously. And so Black Student Union was not just some regular schmegular like, yeah, let's do this and be black, yay. Nah, we was in that boy. Like, do y'all go to class? Like, yes, we went to class, but like, dang, you know, some of that stuff we probably shouldn't have been like worried that much about.
It was
like
serious.
Students like in meetings with chancellors and vice chancellors, like making like really implemental change, like retention, look up the rates, like what is that looking like? Let's talk about the power structure, flip it upside down. Like we was in that boy. So that was my beginnings of like social justice work. And you know, throughout the years I shaped it even better to make it sense for me, and I'm still doing that. But yeah,
making it make sense.
Yeah,
it's I agree with a lot of what you said, like as far as like because you know, I've been sitting on that little book for a minute. So looking back at my old poetry, I was like, oh, yes, something was wrong. And I knew something was wrong. Like, this is not normal. This should not be operating this way. College had a lot to do getting that education, that psychiatry and that kind of thing behind it, you know, understanding the hierarchy of needs and how, you know, ghettos are manufactured and this kind of thing. But I would have never made the correlation between what I was learning in my books and what was going on in the world without the Black Student Union, without that lens and perspective, and me understanding just how serious it really is and always has been. And it's not like, so community activism for me is not something that I won't say it's not something that I thought I would, because even when I was in middle school, I was like, yeah, I just want to get an apartment building and maybe, you know, educate homeless people so that, you know, they live in through learning stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, having all these, and which is still something that I want to and plan to do, but it's not the easiest route to take, and so I had a lot of challenges attempting to bridge certain kind of gaps, and I think I had to kind of go through a personal, you know, kind of reality check kind of situation for me to really grasp, because in a lot of social justice work, a lot of people who are offering the help are doing it from a place of like either hero complex or martyr syndrome, and they don't really have like a spiritual or intellectual grasp on what they actually are doing there. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for me, I had to get as close. I had to get a lot closer to poverty, just simply. I had to get a lot closer to a lot of these experiences, homelessness and this kind of thing, where it allowed me to understand just how easy it is, and just how much everybody does need help, and to not have those, you know, those setbacks, those in my helping efforts. You know what I'm saying? So I completely changed like the mission essentially for energetic investments and what exactly I was doing with it. It gave me like a clearer vision, not just for that, but like what I kind of want to do, like with my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody is, it's a term, you know, throw the baby out the bathwater, but literally nobody is garbage. Like literally no single body is garbage. So it's important to me now that, you know, it's like a new lens on it, essentially. And then, like I said, learning a lot more about what actually is wrong when you learn a lot of the what's that I'm looking for, like mental triggers and things that they use to keep people in the matrix, essentially. I can't even find another word for it, but just like engaging in this manufactured idea of reality, it can make you really sick. It make you like at first I was like, it's like waves of it, you know, sickness, sadness, you know, and then energy to help and do something. You mentioned earlier, you met Jimmy, shout out to Jimmy, and InterVarsity. Does having faith, what does your faith have to do with, if anything, with your community activism work?
Yeah, You know, if I could just, that's been top of mind because I forgot to mention I'm also a community coordinator right now for a part-time job. I don't even want to call it a job because it's just so invested in community still, but it's just a part-time job where we talk about harmful narratives that service providers hold. But everybody holds these, but we're focusing specifically on service providers. And so the two that we focused on would be paternalism and fatalism. And fatalism, and as we create these interventions to talk about these things, fatalism was the one that I found hardest to create. And I talked about this with my team, like, yeah, so I'm having a hard time. And they all agree, you know, it's like, because we're all living in it too. We're trying to clean the water that we're all swimming in.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have to, like, I'm really close to this. Like, how am I supposed to feed people that I ain't got no food? Help me. Like,
so, and then like we ask our partners these questions, and their staff, and like a lot of our partners talk about their faith. You know what I'm saying? But, my organization, like, but also the world, you know, people have their beliefs. It's just what it is, or the or no belief, you know, just like real scientific way of thinking. And because I'm in the realm of behavioral science, there's more people like that. But I'm also a community coordinator, so I understand community and I understand that world. And my job is to create this bridge between the two. But I do notice that, like our partners, their staff, everybody's talking about their faith. And then we get back to the people that I work with. Most likely, they're like, you know, they don't bring up God. They don't bring up like this faith, this thing that you can't see and touch and test. You know what I'm saying? But I personally do believe that you have to have some sort of grounding in a belief higher than yourself, outside of yourself, whatever that may look like, because this work, fatalism, is the idea that poverty is a given and there's nothing we can do about it. It will never be changed. So why try? And so to have that mentality, or to hold that harmful narrative as someone that's providing services to people in poverty, like what does that mean? You're literally giving them this ideology through how you interact with them. Like, so to answer your question, I do believe that you need some sort of belief outside of yourself, because ultimately, like, it gets real spiritual, this work. Like, there's no way to...
It really, really
It's not 1 + 1. It's like 1 + the universe plus the stars, and then you embodying your consciousness and the... Like, it's like you have to.
Like, get to a point where I was like, where I felt stillness, and I felt like I was a river, for real. I'm not even going to hold you up. And I felt like I could feel that water flowing through every tree. I could feel it in the molecules in the air. Like, understanding that connectivity to everything. That's not something that you can just learn in school. Yeah. Not at all. It does defeat things like fatalism, because you understand that it's not like you said before, you said something earlier that I thought was real significant. You said, this is... Like you mentioned the Illuminati, and you said, well, this is not, the way that it's working is not the way it's supposed to. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff going on. And a lot of it encourages us to be like lovers of self and self-involved, and to feel like we are just a single being, when in reality there is no, you're not even in your body. So it's like, no, there is no part of you that's not connected to literally everything around you. But that idea of self is tearing people up. It's not just in the community, in our artwork, in our professional environments, and the way that we communicate with each other, is there's not enough room, you know, for people to just be human. Yeah.
And that hinders community work too, because it stops people from believing that together we can win, which is literally the basis of community organizing. Like, together we can win, not like
I did this for all of you.
Like if I can't do it, nobody else can. Also, this person that's in this quote unquote powerful position has the power. Why would I try to stop them? It's like, it's not even just that person though. It's like the ideas and the choices that have been made within the system that can be unmade. These are man-made problems. Any man-made problem can be undone by another man, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
Like man-made problems.
I'm glad you said that, because it is a trick to it. Like I said, the smoke and mirrors, a lot of this. If you happen to read the Bible, and this is where the faith comes in for me, you can see clear as day, literally like the story of how poverty and hunger and these kind of things came to be. Like the demons, it is not right.
Yeah.
It's not the way it's supposed to be. And there's so many levels of smoke and mirrors and trickery to everything, and to the point where people are just like willy-nilly engaging in things that are sick, for lack of better words, and they think of it as righteous, because it's like the whole scale done tipped, and it's really they say, like, something's in the water, the air, something's in what we eating, like, it's, you know, and it's all of these things. It's like spiritual warfare. This is when you fight in a system, it's not the system that you're fighting. Like it's literally like an angel demon situation, and you are literally to me, it is a spiritual battle for our literal souls.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like if you need to have not that specific understanding, but some kind of base of spirituality when you go and do this kind of work. Because if not, it'll be easy to get swept up in the current and to feel. J. Cole had a line in one of his recent songs. He said, "The activists making so much money, I think they want us. You know, it's like they paying them to keep us sick almost. Like anything can be kind of corrupted that way, especially like activism and those kind of things. Because if you get the wrong person to endorse the wrong thing as a community leader, that's literally how it's happening. You know, that's how we stay sick. So yeah, it's definitely gotta have, to me, you gotta have some type of more than you. Yeah,
and then you realize the tools you have. It's not just physical tools, not just spiritual tools. It's everything, and then you'll also tap into your community. Like, it's so vast, the power that we harness. And if we tap into that, like, this community work is way more than just like, hold the picket sign. It's like, and it involves way more that's not even seen too. It's the past, it's the present, it's the future. It's like,
so how do you feel about Black Lives Matter? I mentioned that because you said hold the picket sign. Like, I'm gonna let you say how you feel about it.
But like, you feel way more than I feel. It's so funny. Well, it's not funny, but I don't know what else to say. But it's so wild because people were asking me that when it first came out. And honestly, like, I was still grasping what the heck is going on here. Like, I just had this, and I think it's a good way to be, honestly, to have like a more over-ego view of what is going on, as opposed to being in there like, okay, but what about that one organization? What about that other one? Okay, but did they do, you know what I'm saying? You could be there, but also have your foot in like the overarching
objectivity
goal. Like, okay, what is happening here? So Black Lives Matter. I appreciate the work that they have done. I do feel like they've been, like, you know, co-opted, which a lot of organizations do. A lot of organizations in general have a timeline. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Movements have timelines. Not all movements, you know what I'm saying, should be around for the long. And also, if you are around, and like, change up your mission, because you ain't doing what you, you know what I'm saying? You should be gone soon. Like, you know, I used to say, like, as a social justice, this is when I was just real deep, little new person in the social justice world. But I think it's still true. As a social justice person, like, I should be working to put myself out of a job. You know what I'm saying? Like most
doctors should, but that's not the way that it works, is it?
Right.
So what kind of pills do these people be pushing is the question.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like Black Lives Matter is a pill. Most social activism, to me, is a pill. Because it's literally, that's crazy, because literally, not just a pill like a placebo, but like literally, it's the appeal of it. It's not even a real thing. Like, it's showing you like what it, to me, I just feel like standing up and marching and holding picket signs and like reiterating. It's like, you hurt me. And then it's like, okay, so now we all gonna stand up and say it all at once. You hurt me.
We ain't about to get into that. Like, nah, I get into that.
And then it's like, and then the system, is literally built to hurt you. So it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's just a futile effort.
Reinforcing.
Stop it. Like, okay, because it's reinforced. That's why I don't engage. The Palestine thing, the Congo thing, I see it. I know what's happening. I pray. But if I engage, I'm going to be, and that's another way that they keep us engaging in the matrix, because if I keep seeing this and I'm traumatized every time I see it, I'm triggered, now I'm sad. Half the time I don't even know why. You know what I'm saying? Now I can't function properly. Now I am engaging in harmful behaviors because all I feel and know is harm. And I'm scared every 10 seconds I'm going to be harmed again. There are enough things in the world. Like, yeah.
I think that the people, I don't even want to say like it's just one person, but like I think the entities or the systems that we're within, they know exactly what they're doing. They know that if we linger enough in the harm, if we show them this repetitively on media, back to back to back to back, it will do something to them internally. Because we know how it is, even when like, if I tell you a story one day, I call you and I'm like, tell me why this happened, Amber. And then they're like, and then I call you back like a week later, like, yeah, and also again, like tell me why. And then I call you, it's like, girl, let it go. What do we want to do different here? Like, it's therapy time. Like, let's reroute our triggers. Yes. But I think that the system that we're within, they know that our triggers as humans. That's why
they know them because they manufactured them. A lot of, especially for specifically, Black people and people of color in America specifically, majority of our triggers are manufactured outside of the natural, natural things that happen in community. But I'm saying, like, when we talk about just anything that really happens in the ghetto,
trigger words,
all the trigger words, all of the senseless murder, or the music, and all this stuff is manufactured, and it's crazy because if you follow the trail like a cord, like a bunch of jumbled cords, and you follow the cord back to the plug, slavery and racism is at the end of that plug every single time. Even for things that we have conjured up to believe are mental illnesses. That really needs to be said, because I'm not saying, I do not want to create the narrative that there are not people who are mentally ill that do need help. What I do want to do is bring to everybody's attention that if you are being consistently triggered, then it reworks the neural pathways in your brain, and so therefore it is conditioning you for your mentality to be sickness. So you are not born with a mental illness, you are conditioned to believe you are sick, and it's a totally different thing.
Body keeps the score,
right? And the body keeps the score way before you could ever even conjure numbers.
Oh Lord. This conversation trigger iffy. No,
sorry.
I'm like, oh no. No, it's all good. But yeah,
it's important to know those things. Cause how else you gonna stop it? Like, so as far as solutions go, what are, because everybody can't do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like revolution is more practical than people to believe that it is. What are some practical ways that we can revolve?
And I also want to mention, to the point before, there's Black Lives Matter, then there's Movement for Black Lives. Movement for Black Lives is doing way more strategic work.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah. It's the same colors, black and yellow, but they're two different organizations. Because I remember I wanted to contact one of them, but then I was like, oh, that's not even the one that I want to be in. Yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. But, if I could just think about how I have evolved as someone that didn't know nothing about community, you know what I'm saying? But I was that. And so I've just been shaping myself. I think that anytime you get involved with other people, like even here, Shawcast Network, I think that's community work. Because here we are, roots connected to grass. We are intertwining, so like, the overview of everything. Like, okay, shout out to Black Lives Matter. But on the other hand, there are people that are coming together because they want to, you know what I'm saying? There's still fruit being...
Seeds being planted, fruit being, yes.
Grown from these interactions, from this community work. Like, anything that you do, make sure you love it. Because
Bingo.
That's your...
So excited! Yes!
So excited. Because that's like inherently what you're supposed to be doing. Don't do nothing you don't want to do.
Don't do anything for money.
Right.
And then even if you're not, like, when it comes to community activism, a lot of people don't do it for money, but they do it for other reasons, and they don't see the greed, they don't see the ego, they don't see those things behind their actions. But if you doing something, when you doing what you're supposed to do, everything that you need literally appears. Like, literally appears at this point. I feel like I'm spoiled. Like, I don't even. And I looked up one day and was like, wow, I love everything I do. Like, it's really amazing. But you had mentioned it. What was it? And I was like, I tried to put it in my brain. I can't remember to mention it. Say it again. No.
Right, I'm like...
I'll say it all again.
Well, I did have another point, though.
Yes.
So another point that I had, and if I can be, honest, I started off BSU, and I just said, okay. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's good to just say okay and agree. Like, if you think so, Regina, okay, yeah, I'll be president. And then it got to a point where I did experience burnout. You know what I'm saying? But that's because me as a person was still shaping and developing. I just said yes. Like, I don't even know. I didn't choose to say yet. Like, I did say, it's like I wasn't fully developed as a person to even what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of being told. Not that it wasn't in alignment, but I didn't even fully develop myself. And so I was kind of in a space where I'm doing a thing that was impactful, but how is it impacting me? Like, it's cool. Ego is being developed. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Look at me on the stage saying the words in deep tones. But also, it's like, sooner or later, there were times where I felt hella burnt out, and I just felt good about it because I can see instant change. I could see that people were coming together, but something was still slightly off. And so, like, we can fast forward some years because that's a whole book, what I could say. But, like, 2019, burnout to the max, okay, to the point where I had to go home. You know what I'm saying? And
you just gotta disappear.
Yeah, like, all right. Then I came back to Detroit, because this is like me following school, all of that stuff. So I came back, and I'm like, I want to take a break from all of this, actually. And then that's when George Floyd happened, and then I was feeling this conflict of, like, I should be doing something. Yeah, I should be in the streets. I should be. But I just felt like I ain't want to. You know what I'm saying? But that was because I experienced such a burnout from just doing, cause this, cause that. Not that it's not good things, but there's multiple lanes you could be in as a community organizer or a person that cares about community, because all of it is necessary. And, I had to pay attention to how I evolve. We all evolve as people, and we all evolve in our roles in society or in this world. For example, we would be marching as BSU, new people on fire, and then Delma would be like, yeah, I don't normally march anymore, but y'all go ahead. I'm going to join y'all this time, but I don't really do that no more. And I did not understand, like, what you mean,
and now you're
brother?
In a place where you're like,
I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's for y'all, and they be so on fire to do it. I'm really like, bet. I will create the flyers still, because I love to create flyers. And so, but I won't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? My fight is here doing this, but either way, us here existing, especially in this timeline that we are in, man, it's a reason why we are all here. It's such a shift.
Ain't it like, you can feel it, though. It's really like, I'm just, every day I wake up, like, I feel like sometimes I wake up and be just a new person. Like, but I am, though, all the time. That's great. That's crazy.
And so take note of that, and then reroute and restructure. Like, okay, Andre, play the flute now. That's totally fine. Like, you don't have to be what you used to be. That's totally fine. But the reason why people, it's so many reasons. I was just talking to Jason about this, but it's just like, but one I'm going to pick for this conversation is like, people ain't used to change, evolution, like
it's scary,
redeveloping. Like it's like, how dare you used to write these songs and I felt so strongly about them, and now you're not. You
took it from me.
It's
it wasn't for you.
We're not critiquing his music, his art. We're critiquing his person. You can't critique somebody's person. We are always ever evolving, changing. So I would just take a look at yourself, like right now in this time. Like, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? Like, inherently, not because it's gonna put you on a dope ass platform, people gonna listen to you speak on a stage or whatever. Like, what do you really want to do? So me, Brittini, back then with the black head wrap and the black fist up, like that could be me sometimes still internally, but me now is so different from what I used to be, and it's way more peaceful. It's way more calm, way less stressful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still implementing change. So. That's all I was saying.
And then all the beautiful stuff is still happening too.
Yes, all the
you're
beautiful
still on the
stuff.
stage. You still doing those deep tones, and you still,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You still, but I feel like for people who use the platforms correctly, the stage is the sidewalk. The mic is the picket sign. That's literally what it's for. I feel like, if we have some type of sense of responsibility. So if you listening and you want to know how you can be active in your community, speak up. Just, say it out loud. Find somebody to love on. Like that is either directly related to you or just, and within arm's reach. Reach your arms out. Like, check on your neighbors and, if one of your siblings or your uncle or whoever is struggling with something, help them find resources for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Do something that's motivated simply by understanding that we all need each other. I feel like that's enough, and that's really enough.
It doesn't have to be this huge.
It don't have to. That's why I mentioned like Black Lives Matter and all these other different kind of things, because while that is fun and you do feel great and you feel on fire and you feel like you're making a difference, if you go back, you put the sign away and you go back to your own home, are you talking to your brothers and sisters?
Come on.
Are you, do you, like I said, do you check on your neighbors? Like, what actually, community is something that needs to be literally built. Like bricks, like you literally have to build it. You can't sit in the middle of something and complain that it's falling apart if you're not willing to pick a brick up. Pick a brick up. Like,
or a rake. Mama's shoe.
Or a rake.
I don't know if you know
Cut
Mama's
your
shoe.
grass.
You know, like that. But I mean, yeah, that too.
Yes.
It's so simple. Like, I just think about Mama's shoe story. She's in an interview. She's in Highland Park, Avalon Village. Yeah, so she started off by saying, like, I just picked up one rake. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, whoever wanted to join me, go ahead, join me. You know what I'm saying?
Do
like,
something.
Just one thing. Like, it don't gotta be such on a grand scale. If it's God's choice for you to be on a grand scale, please believe that scale.
It's gonna happen to you whether you want it to be.
You're gonna be like, how did I get here? But
I said
you
okay.
Be ready. Right. I just said okay.
I said okay.
That's literally what happened. But like, you know what I'm saying? I know the plans I have for you. Okay, just follow your heart. Like literally follow your heart. What you love to do. If you don't love to be on that stage, then don't be on that stage. Like, if you love to just do what you love.
Yeah.
What you love.
That's strong. That's strong. In an effort, we telling people, do what you love. Listen to your heart. Blah, 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 blah. But we talked about earlier about, a part of our conditioning being that we don't know our hearts. And we don't know our own true nature. What are, like you said, you had to go through a process of first waking your, something had to be woken up in you, and then well, how do I want to do this? What in that process, was it a intentional process? And if not, or even if it was, what did it look like?
I guess I could just say, because I said yes, I wasn't afraid of failing. That could because of my parental support system. I really don't know. Sometimes I try to make sense of how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? But
just immaculate.
Sometimes it's just what it
just was born.
No. I mean, sometimes it just be like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just do. But I do have very powerful parents. Like both of them are in like work of, you know, community and social, like society, social worker, person in the army, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that has something to do with it. Like my upbringing of support could have been, but either way, but they'd be surprised too. Like, you going where, Brittini? I send them like emails of things that I'm about to, so I'm about to take 2 years, about to go to Arizona. And they'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, okay. And so I don't know. I just, the question is escaping me right now. Oh, yeah.
What's your process to learning what you love and listening to your heart?
Right. It's just a matter of not being afraid to fail. I don't even know how the heck I just decided to up and go to Arizona. Like, I just remember one night, like, just crying because I didn't have a lot of money, but I had just graduated, and I'm like, now what? Like, what? And I just remember praying, like, I just want to travel. I want to do what I love. I want it to be warm. You know what I'm saying? I was real specific with my prayer, but there we go with that faith again, you know? So all I can do, and I think that's what everybody should do when they are asked this question after they, you know, are able to reflect on their decisions, is share their experience, because it's going to touch somebody. And my experience and how I arrived to where I am now may not, you know, resonate with a lot of people, but all I got is my experience. And I remember that day, like, and then I had applied, I Googled. I also reached out, you know what I'm saying? I reached out to different people in offices and such, but along the way, I acted as a community organizer. I wasn't just that yet.
It's always kind of like in your nature to be
touching, talking. Okay, what's this? Like, I'm an Indian Student Association. Am I Indian? No, I am not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
no, I am
over
not.
here at the Gamers Club. Like, I just had this innate, like, what's everybody else doing? Like, just being open to possibilities. But that is the landscape of college, too. But
right,
also,
it is. That's, yeah.
Like, I could talk about the classes I took, but, like, I just feel BSU just shines way brighter. You know, just not being afraid to, well, let me try that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, and then some things I tried out, definitely shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't a good decision. But I did it, and now I know. Man, no. So, yeah, it's like, you know, just yeah, a lot of decisions. But either way, you just can't be afraid to try something new, to get outside of your comfort zone and box. That's where I am at right now. It's very uncomfortable.
Outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah, the decisions that I'm making now to take my, you know, fill in the blank to the next level is like new stuff.
Fill in the blank. I like that because it's hard to put a title on.
Yes. But I know I'm like,
they asked me at work, like, what's your passion? I said creativity. They said, what are you creative in? I was like, do you have time?
Right. It's a gumbo. It's a gumbo. It's delicious gumbo.
Delicious gumbo.
Delicious steeping. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess for me, I would say the truth is something that happens on like a cellular level, and you can feel it. You can feel when something is the truth. And it just, if you lean into that, like I don't know how to describe it. I feel like lights and air. But it you know, it has a different kind of tone. Like if you did like a tuning fork. Yeah. It rings. The truth, it rings. But if you lean into that, then, you know, the things that are not true, they'll kind of get scared and kind of run away. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no.
Like all the alarms going off. I think it's time for us to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because the lies are heavy. And it's a lot. It's a lot of them. That we are being told perpetually. You know, there is nothing at all wrong with you know, opening your heart and your hands in any way that you can. That makes you, you know. The sacrifice stops when you are sacrificing yourself, essentially. But other than that, you know, if you have it, give it. It's a lot simpler than it is made out to be sometimes. And I just really want to drive that point home. Can you tell us about off the mic and Vista Maria and, you know, all of the just wonderful things that you are currently doing.
I will do my best. So, in talking about like shaping myself and how I want to engage community in this season, because it may look different the next season, but I've been combining my spoken word with my activism, or my creativity with my activism. Mm-hmm. So out of that came Off the Mic. Off the Mic is an organization where we prioritize artist development, paid opportunities for artists to perform in different venues, volunteering. For example, Vista Maria, that is an organization for sheltered kids. And I think that was all that we have now for volunteering. And then also archival efforts, just really making sure we document or documenting like the poetry scene in Detroit in whatever way that may look like, and keeping up with that history, because it's important to keep up with the history so we don't have other people's histories to tell us what we used to be and what we about to be.
Amen.
And even Off the Mic may take different shapes and forms. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, on a side note, the way that we're, quote unquote, taught to shape our lives is not.
It's so linear, and that's not even realistic.
That's not how we operate.
Oh, my God.
Like, tomorrow I may just, like, rest. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's not even, like, anywho. Yeah, so. But, yeah, so that's Off the Mic. And what else is there? Every second Saturday. So, yeah, I'm a very spiritual person. And I also have been tapping into my gifts as a healer. And so one of the healing modalities that I now am learning about and using is Reiki. I'm a Usui Holy Fire Reiki practitioner, level 2. And so that concerns the mind, body, and soul alignment, you know, the different chakras within your body. And so I talk about that because it's also infused in how I approach community with poetry. And every second Saturday, Sunrise Detroit, 12 to 4 p.m. at Andy Arts. That's 3000 Finkel Avenue, smack dab in the middle of the community, which is so beautiful. We got neighbors that come out all the time. There's a lady that owns a garden down the street. We volunteered there, and she comes and talks about her things, and, you know, different people from all over come, but it's just nice to, like, be in the middle of community because, bam, community organizing, great. You know what I'm saying? And so, there we prioritize mind, body, soul alignment, and we do that through the different vendors that we have. We have on-site massage therapist. We have someone that does reading, someone that provides Reiki as well, someone that gives, like, hand and foot baths, and we also have someone that crafts their own herbal tea. And every month, we have a plant-based food vendor that gives us delicious food that'll keep us up and alive, feeling. And we also have different cultural apparel by Wandra's Boutique, Jeff. And we also have Zoe Grows, someone that, you know, he really just be growing all the things, like the wraps that you may buy at the liquor store or the gas station for your marijuana. You know, he grows the plant so you can have a more healthier wrap around your cannabis. Like, what else is there? But he also, like, does so much more, like incense and different herbs. Like, every time he always has his herbs that he just gives away. Like, yeah, try this. You know, it gives you this energy, you know. Just a lot of knowledge in the building. Like, every vendor that we bring into the space is truly in their bag. Like, they talk about stuff like I don't even know. That's why I have them come up and talk about what they have going on. We don't just say, like, yeah, you could be a vendor, sure, whatever. It's like, no, these are very specific vendors, you know, and I've engaged with them, and I'm like, ooh, I want you in the space because they also add to the energy. We also got Mindful Bee, energy tools disguised as jewelry in the building. And people that know him know he knows his crystals from, I remember back when I got my first crystal from him. You know, he knows his crystals. So that's that. And I am one of the hosts alongside Jason Ford, a.k.a. Squeeze. And it's free admission. It's free admission. The next one is December 9th. So definitely come out. You know, it's on Eventbrite if you need the reminder to attend. And, I think that's all for that. and I'll announce it here. I'm about to finally put my book out for my first poetry book. Goodness gracious. It's been a long time coming, but now is a better time than ever. What? Ever.
That was the best time.
Now is the best time. Because I literally feel like I'm done with these stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've overcame these stories. I'm not about to call Amber again and be like, and tell me why. You know, like, these are so old. I just like, what? As I'm reading it. So, but, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not going to release the title. I feel weird about that just yet. But, yes. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that there is for that.
Thank you. I'm excited for you. You mentioned healing earlier. I want to kind of circle back around to that because earlier when I was talking about, like, how do you how do you hear your heart and all of that and know what the truth feel like and all of that. Healing, I think, is one of the single most important things that you can do for your community is to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I think that's, if you want to be a community activist, get some therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, change the way you eat. Figure out the best company to keep for yourself to be okay. You're not sick. But if you are, then you need to figure out how you're sick and how to heal those things. That's the best thing you can do for your community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's literally like it.
No, I agree. Get in your body. I think that's the whole thing. Like, even when you say, like, what can you do to get into community organizing or social justice work? It's like, get in your body. Yeah. Like, get in your own identity. Like, know who you are, mind, body, and soul.
And stand up in that. Stand up in that. We are in a time in the world. I do a lot of, I'm not interested in seeing this on my timelines, on my different social media feeds. There's a lot of garbage out here to ingest in so many different ways. We need detoxes. We need healing. We need, we need these things. So with that being said, Energetic Investments is a community outreach organization tasked with using art as means to facilitate healing and stimulate the local economy. Steve Harvey said it best: you can't do anything if you broke. You can't help many people. You can't help more people with money. But even with that being said, though, like I said, there was a time, like I said, I didn't have much. And like this last, not this year, the year before last, when I decided to, when I got I want to say a correct vision for Energetic Investments and how I wanted it to operate. And I swear I didn't have anything. And I kept wanting to cancel it. God, I don't understand. How do you expect me to feed people? Why am I gathering school clothes for children and I cannot afford to get my kids school clothes? It was the craziest thing. But not only did faith allow me to, and it was supposed to rain that day and everything. We was outside. I said, I used the literal line from the Bible: God, shut the heavens up and don't let it rain on us. It did not rain. We had every single thing that we wanted to have as far as offering to the community. It was such an amazing experience. I realized this is what I am supposed to be doing. But also, me and my kids don't really, we still didn't want for anything either. Like everybody's needs were met because I was obedient, and I responded to that alarm bell of truth. So I encourage everybody to listen to that and listen for that bell, listen for that ringing. You can feel it and you can hear it in your cells for what is true for you specifically and what you are supposed to be doing and how you are supposed to be healing. Thank you, Brittini, for being here. Oh no, go ahead.
I forgot to mention.
Yes.
So yeah, I have been doing Reiki at Flowers Open Mic. Oh, yeah. That is
every first Thursday.
Every first Thursday from
7 to 11.
7 to 11.
I think. Don't quote me.
7 to 10. Yes. Much
Chroma,
love
Detroit.
to Nettie. Shout out to Nettie.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you are interested or even have any more questions about what that looks like, because what Koffee is talking about is just this sense of being still, so you can hear the rings, you can feel the vibrations, like, but first you have to be still within yourself, and that is not even easy. This past week, I've been like, Brittini, you already know it works, why you ain't being still? The heck? And then I finally was still, like 2 days ago. I gotta be grounded for this podcast. Let me get my life. So yeah, just come check us out.
God body slammed me.
No, like, first of all, we talked about this for 10 plus every. But that just goes to show, like, we humans. And it's okay.
Where are you running from?
The big ass head came out of the sky. WWE.
Smackdown. Oh my God.
So yeah.
Oh, also, she forgot to mention. Well, we mentioned this slightly, but she does do graphic design. And if you are following One Crafty Mama, which all y'all should be following One Crafty Mama by now, that beautiful logo came from this beautiful lady. And also, it was something else that you made for me. Oh, I'm not talking about that yet.
Oh.
Listen, but yeah, she be out here in her graphic design bag for sure. She makes all my little labels and stickers and stuff.
Yes.
So, I would be, listen, without her, I don't know what.
Trips to that damn printer, oh man.
I don't know what my stuff will be looking like.
So, it looks so good too with the stickers.
Like,
so
great.
stickers.
Yes. And I remember the first time when you first made my One Crafty Mama logo. From that one to this one. That's just, to me, I'm like, growth is everywhere.
Yes.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, really, really great at what you do. All of the things that you do. I have always been, like I said, literally since I met you, very inspired by you. Having people like you, and a lot of the people in this community in Detroit is, I get a lot of flack, but I am consistently just inspired and overwhelmed with growth and inspiration because of the people that are around me. And my contact list is one of the littest ones out here, like for real. Network. Don't be in competition with the people around you.
Come on now.
Because you will darken and tear apart your network for literally no reason. And there's so many. She said, she start the wheels, but you can have infinite spokes in that wheel. Like there's no limit. So yeah, stay out here, stay making connections, stay healing, stay loving. Thank you again, Brittini, for joining me in this wonderful conversation. I swear, every time I do this, I'm like, this is my favorite one.
So if you want to hear more about all the things, follow me on Instagram at BWARD Poetry. That's BWARD Poetry. And if you want to see what has been done in the past, go to BrittiniWard.com. And yeah, just hit me up if you have any questions. Hope to see you at one of our events. Peace.
Coffee out.
Peace.